Caiaphas, and they schemed to arrest Jesus secretly and kill him.
We must do this, but not during the festival, or there may be a riot among the people.
I agree. That can stop.
Then one of the 12, the one called Judas Iscariot, went to the chief priests and the officers of the temple guard and discussed with them how he might betray Jesus.
What are you willing to give me if I betray him and turn him over to you?
They were delighted with Judas and agreed to give him money. He consented, and they counted out for him 30 pieces of silver. From then on, Judas watched for an opportunity to hand him over.
That is good.
Jesus knew the hour had come for him to leave this world and go to the Father. Having loved his own who were in the world, he loved them to the end. The evening meal was in progress, and the devil had already prompted Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot, to betray Jesus. Jesus gets up from the table and wraps a towel around his waist. He then prepares a basin of water and begins to wash the disciples' feet, drying them with a towel that was wrapped around him. He came to Simon Peter.
Lord, are you going to wash my feet?
You do not realize now what I am doing, but later you will understand.
No, you shall never wash my feet.
Unless I wash you, you have no part with me.
Then, Lord, not just my feet, but my hands and my head as well.
Those who have had a bath need only to wash their feet. Their whole body is clean, and you are clean, though not every one of you.
For he knew who was going to betray him. And that was why he said not everyone was clean. When he had finished washing their feet, he put his clothes back on and returned to his place.
Do you understand what I have done for you? You call me teacher and Lord, and rightly so, for that is what I am. Now that I, your Lord and teacher, have washed your feet, you also should wash one another's feet. I have set an example for you, that you should do as I have done for you. Very truly, I say to you, no servant is greater than his master, nor is a messenger greater than the one who sent him. Now that you know these things, you will be blessed if you do them. My children, I will be with you only for a little while longer. You will look for me. And just as I told you, the Jews, so I tell you now, where I am going, you cannot come. A new command I give you, love one another, as I have loved you. So you must love one another. By this everyone will know that you are my disciples, if you love one another.
But Lord, where are you going?
Where I am going you cannot follow now, but you will follow later.
Lord, why can't I follow you now? I will lay down my life for you.
Will you really lay down your life for me? Very truly I tell you, this very night, before the rooster crows, you will disown me 3 times.
Even if all fall away on account of you, I never will. Even if I have to die with you, I never will disown you.
Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God. Believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you also may be where I am. You know the way to the place where I am going.
On the first day of the festival of unleavened bread, the disciples came to Jesus and asked, "Where do you want us to make preparations for you to eat the Passover?" He replied, "Go into the city to a certain man and tell him, 'The teacher says, my appointed time is near. I am going to celebrate the Passover with my disciples at your house.'" So the disciples did as Jesus said and directed and prepared the Passover. While they were eating, Jesus took the bread, and when he had given thanks, he broke it and gave it to his disciples, saying, "Take and eat. This is my body." Then he took the cup, and when he had given thanks, he gave it to them, saying, "Drink from it, all of you. This is my blood of the covenant, which is poured out for many for the forgiveness of sins. I tell you, I will not drink from this fruit of the vine from now until that day when I drink it new with you in my Father's kingdom.
I am not referring to all of you. I know those who I have chosen, but this is to fulfill the passage of Scripture. He who shared my bread has turned against me. I am telling you now before it happens, so that when it does happen, you will believe me, that I am who I am. Very truly I tell you, whoever accepts anyone I send accepts me, and whoever accepts me accepts the one who I sent.
After he had said this, Jesus was troubled in spirit and testified.
Very truly I tell you, one of you is going to betray me.
His disciples stared at each other, at a loss to know what he meant. One of them, the disciple whom Jesus loved, was reclining next to him. Simon Peter motioned to this disciple and said,
Ask which one he means. Lord, who is it?
It is the one to whom I will give this piece of bread when I have dipped it in the dish.
Jesus, then dipping the piece of bread, he gives it to Judas, the son of Simon Iscariot. As soon as Judas took the bread, Satan entered into him. So Jesus told him,
What you are about to do quickly.
but no one at the meal understood why Jesus said this to him. Since Judas had charge of the money, some thought that Jesus was telling him to buy what was needed for the festival and to give something to the poor. As soon as Judas had taken the bread, he went out.
Sit here while I go over there and pray.
He took Peter and the two sons of Zebedee along with him, and he began to be sorrowful and troubled. Then he said to them,
My soul is overwhelmed with sorrow to the point of death. Stay here and keep watch with me.
Going a little farther, he fell with his face to the ground and prayed,
My Father, if it is possible, may this cup be taken from me. Yet not as I will, but as you will.
Then he returned to his disciples and found them sleeping.
Couldn't you men keep watch with me for 1 hour? Watch and pray so that you will not fall into temptation. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak.
He went away a second time and prayed.
My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done.
When he came back, he again found them sleeping, because their eyes were heavy. So he left them and went away once more and prayed the third time, saying the same thing.
My Father, if it is not possible for this cup to be taken away unless I drink it, may your will be done.
Then he returned to the disciples and said to them,
Are you still sleeping and resting? Look, the hour has come and the Son of Man is delivered into the hands of sinners. Rise, let us go. Here comes my betrayer.
While Jesus was still speaking, Judas, one of the 12, arrived. With him was a large crowd armed with swords and clubs, sent from the chief priests and elders of the people. Now the betrayer had arranged a signal with them. The one I kiss is the man. Arrest him. Going at once to Jesus, Judas said, Greetings, Rabbi, and kissed him. Jesus replied, Do what you came for, friend. Then the men stepped forward, seized Jesus, and arrested him. With that, one of Jesus' companions reached out for a sword, drew it, and struck the servant of the high priest, cutting off his ear.
Put your sword back in its place, for all who draw the sword will die by the sword. Do you think I cannot call on my Father, and he will at once put at my disposal more than 12 legions of angels? But how then would the scriptures be fulfilled, that say it must happen in this way?
In that hour, Jesus said to the crowd, Am I leading a rebellion that you come out with swords and clubs to capture me? Every day I sat in the temple courts teaching, and you did not arrest me. But this has all taken place, that the writings of the prophets might be fulfilled. Then all the disciples deserted him and fled.
Thank you.